Hello, and welcome to another Clash Royale video. Today, part 6 of us trying to get to the max trophies in the game. Now immediately, as I started up the game, we see that we have gotten another king level tower, or king tower level. And that is a lot of pop-ups and a lot of things to claim. So of course, we will go through the normal of the pass royale. We get the level 1 and a little bit of gold. Then they did actually update the whole level system, and now it's this collection level system, so let's go through and claim these. And this is a 5-star, so let's see what we get out of this. A lot of fire spirits, but not a particularly useful card, but hey, something at least. Now our next thing to get is going to be these 20 wild cards by upgrading 4 card levels. Now let's go through and click through all of these rewards here. That's a lot of barbarians, I like to see that, and more fire spirits. I've never used fire spirit in a deck, I don't think. And then a ton of gems. Next we can go to, I believe, the current event, and we can see we have a lot of work to do, but we're probably not going to complete this event. Then we have the shop that goes along with the event, and again, we're not going to complete that. Well, actually we might, we have 30 days. And there's just some information about updates to the game and balancing and all of that, some new heroes, and Eva Princess was also added. Now of course we will check the shop and claim our gold, and also buy these cards as we have extra gold. Also, there are some emotes, and I think this is a pretty cool emote. We do love the log. The log is one of my favorite cards, so I think we can get that emote. Now I think we can look towards upgrading our cards. Now, just because it's really cheap, we will upgrade this a few times. And seeing as it's been a while since we have played, I think it's time to make a new deck. Now, I do think essential parts of the deck include Knight, just because eventually in higher ladder, it's great for countering a ton of cards. Barbarians at this point is very good. Arrows, again, very good card. Fireball, you want a heavy spell. Mini P.E.K.K.A. is pretty much almost essential, but we'll hold off on that. Now I want to look at skeleton dragons versus minions, and I think that I'm going to go with minions just because my skeleton dragons are level 1. Now again, buildings are pretty crucial, and fire spirit I think will be also pretty useful for kiting, along with skeletons. Now I think we can try this deck out to see how it works, and we can go from there. Also, I think I saw we can level up our princess tower. Now, I do think the play for this will either be splitting barbarians at the back, or just putting them on bridge and seeing what happens. Alright, this is going to be a good space for a spirit and for minions. And I think I also heard a mini P.E.K.K.A. get placed down, but I think that got dealt with. Now, I know I did overspend on that fireball, but I think it is going to be whatever it is. We gotta do that. And again, I think the counter towards this is going to be minions. And I think what we can do now is actually split barbarians at back. Now, I did see he placed barbarians, so we will just go cannon and fire spirit. We don't want our barbarians to get destroyed, so we'll place down skeletons to help them live a little longer. Now I can see we've actually got a little bit of split lane going on. Now on the left side, over here, we're not going to see a ton of damage, but he definitely did have to over-defend here, which got us a bit of chip damage, actually. And then right here, I think I'm just going to place Knight here, kite that, and it's gone. Now I am going to split Barbarians here. Okay, I guess they didn't split. That's fine though, because we do not really want him to get much damage. Now, because we don't want this Mega Minion taking off our push, we will place minions on that, and this right here is a pretty large push. Now, I am going to Fireball these Barbarians. And that should also be a good amount of damage on that tower too. Now again, to counter Valkyrie, we can use Knight, and we can help counter Mini P.E.K.K.A. skeletons. And Mini P.E.K.K.A. is going to do a lot of damage to our tower. Luckily, he only got one hit. And this is going to be a crazy fireball right here. And we can just keep going with our push, and again, over-defending is happening right now. Again, a great fireball right there, taking out pretty much all of that push. That was a pretty good Valkyrie. And I think now we'll just place Barbarians in the middle with minions above. And to deal with the Mini P.E.K.K.A, we'll go Skeletons, and then we'll place a Knight right behind. Fire Spirit will help with the Giant, and we can place even more Barbarians down. And this is looking like a pretty good push. This might actually... No, I don't think it'll take tower hit. Our tower is getting a ton of damage done to it, and we cannot afford to lose this as we still only have just 1,000 trophies. I can't really tell what's over here, and it's a Valkyrie, so you do have to deal with that. Shockingly, they've got 2 buildings in their deck, which is a choice, but it is seemingly working pretty well. Now what I would like to do just before overtime ends, about 50 seconds, is deal with the tower and just get a huge push. And that was a horrible fireball, which might actually just ruin our whole push, but I think we have to try. And again, Giant is going to actually take our tower, and I think we lose this here. Here we go, we are in the next match, and we should try to win once again. We'll fireball that, and then we'll place minions down too. Now they did get a bit of damage on our tower, but it is what it is. I think it'll be okay, and I think this should be a full counter. Of course, as always, Mini P.E.K.K.A, we counter with skeletons. And then, just Barbarians. Now we have a push of 4 Barbarians, and minions will only make that push bigger. And if this isn't dealt with, that is going to be a ton of damage. Right here, we have a crazy fireball. And now tower should deal with this. Skeletons and Knight, and along with our cannon, should deal with that, and then it should be turned into somewhat of a counter push. Just so that the Mega Minion doesn't destroy our Knight's health, minions will be useful. And now, we saw that we forced out defense, and actually kind of overspending, because they can't defend the minions. And Knight is 3 elixir and Valkyrie is 4, so that was a pretty good trade. Of course, we'll go Fire Spirit again, but I messed up the timing. Luckily, we saved it with Barbarians, and we only lost 1 Barbarian. Fire Spirit will get us some chip damage, but he placed Barbarians, which wasn't really smart. Now, I do think we have to place a Knight here, and they placed cannon on bridge, so I think we'll do the same. Which honestly wasn't super smart, but it is what it is. I think that to deal with the Valkyrie, we can just go Fire Spirit, drag it backwards with Barbarians, and place a Knight on them too. We'll Fireball this, and that is going to be a lot of damage. Minions to defend the Giant, and I think we should also look into Skeletons, and then hopefully the Fire Spirit goes for the Mega Minion. We can actually get another Knight down, and Mega Minion is gone. Barbarians won't hurt, and Minions again. And we actually have a pretty big push going, and I think now we can just card spam. Now we just have a Shredder. No matter what gets placed into it, it dies, even a mini P.E.K.K.A, and that is the tower down. Again, I think we'll go split Barbarians, and then on the side with less Barbarians, we'll go Knight. We'll go Minions here too, and it got a hit, but to deal with the Barbarians, we'll go Fire Spirit. Now the right side we're seeing, they're not being defended, which is probably going to give us some good damage actually. On the left side we see that we still won that encounter, and the cannon isn't defending everything going on the left side. So now we're about equal on damage, but now of course we can just place our skeletons again to deal with the mini P.E.K.K.A. Barbarians and Knight, 8 elixir push, and it's pretty much all wiped out by that fireball, but we see that we still get a ton of damage here. So I'm going to fireball this. I know it's not going to hit all of them. Oh, it actually did, that's nice. We also got some tower damage, and then I think our tower should deal with this. Minions and Fire Spirit to counter that, and then we'll go Skeletons too, because I do not want them to get another hit, and we got rid of it just in time. I think we'll just bomb rush the bridge with more Barbarians, and maybe that's tower. The Mega Minion is putting in a bit of work, and Valkyrie is going to finish it off. As always, we like to kite with Knight. Well, not kite, but send him to the middle with Knight. And Minions should help get rid of the mini P.E.K.K.A before it gets to tower. I think once we hit 30 seconds, we'll start fireball cycling, just because it is being defended pretty well now. Now, I also don't really want a fireball cycle though, because spell damage on buildings did get nerfed quite a bit, but I think right here we can arrows that. And then I think cannon is going to be the play here, just to be somewhat of a passive defense. And then minions in the air. Now this is going to be a pretty great fireball. Oh my goodness, they placed a battle ramp. That's really good actually. And the battle ramp's going to go there. And then we can place Barbarians and Fire Spirit. And I think another cannon should defend it pretty well. Now I did misclick and place it in the wrong spot, but it's okay. Now, he just got a mini P.E.K.K.A on my tower, which might take it, but luckily it does not. Now, I do think we have to play very, conservative and not be too risky and keep some elixir in the bar. As we can see, they are trying to fireball cycle us, so we'll place a cannon down to keep us defense, and we can fireball this. And there we go. That's tower, and that is our second win. Alright, here we go. Now they did sort of just bridge spam, but that's fine. We should win this encounter, and I'm not saying they overspent, but they did spend a lot of elixir, which should take their options to defend over here and shrink it more. Now this should still deal a little bit of damage. No, not even one hit. That's fine. I think we'll go cannon here, and then skeletons to finish it. Oh wow, it's a musketeer player. Pretty cool. Now, I haven't actually seen a lot of musketeers in this arena. Now, they just absolutely wasted their elixir on that fireball, and also, now they cannot fireball our barbarians like they did before. So this should actually deal quite a lot of damage, and the cannon wasn't placed soon enough to get rid of the full push. I do want to save and wait for them to make a move, and as we can see, they placed Valkyrie. So I do think we should cannon that, and then probably just place Fire Spear. I am actually just going to place the Fire Spirit on the battle ramp. And there we go. I am hopeful that this will bait out a fireball maybe, but it's not a real player, so I don't think it will. And there we go. We got some chip damage there, which is always good. And now we have as much elixir as we can in the bar, so now I think we'll go with a little bit of split lane pressure. Now we have a musketeer. I don't want to take too much damage. And now I think we're getting the shredder started. They wasted the fireball, which means these 5 barbarians are going to put in work. And that might be tower. And again, I don't think this is a real person because no one buys emotes at this arena. And they have that emote. I don't know. Pretty sure it's still bots, but eventually we will work our way up to playing with real people. I'm gonna go back to the lobby just because I believe we have a few rewards to claim. Now I do think no, we had Bomb Tower. No, we did just unlock Bomb Tower. That's pretty nice. We have this chest and we get a 4-star. So let's see what we get out of this. Evo Knight shards, I think? Yeah. That's actually pretty good. Evo Knight's pretty good. Hero Knight might be better though. I don't know. I'm kind of still stuck on that. But we'll see. 1-star, a few barbarians, not too bad, but not the best. Another 4-star though. 250 barbarians, that's pretty good. And then a 3-star. We unlocked Inferno Tower, that's pretty huge. 2-star. Actually, a pretty good amount of minions. 3-star from a 1-star, pretty good again. 2,000 gold. And just a ton of rewards around here. And you also get to choose between Bomb Tower and Inferno Tower. Personally, I think Inferno Tower at this point is going to be better just once we start seeing cards like P.E.K.K.A. and eventually Mega Knight. Some gold over here. And soon we're gonna, I think, unlock Wizard, because I don't think we have Wizard right now. But now we can just claim rewards from the pass. And there we go, we got a nice banner. And a 3-star chest, which gives us quite a few Knight cards, which is going to be pretty useful. Now we are just unlocking award after award. We got some of the bones, so we will be able to actually spend them in the shop. Now we do have to start over here. And at this point, I think we should get these. Oh, we can't get those right now, but we should get these, and we get a good amount of spear goblins. I do want to see if we could maybe... No, I think we should save our wild cards, and instead I think we should get this chest. It was a 1-star and it gave us 1 rare card, but that's not too bad. Now I'd like to go through and claim these card masteries. Now we just got quite a considerable amount of gems, and, well, not gems, gold. But now what I would like to do is just click on those to get rid of the icons and start upgrading a ton of cards. And there we go, that is everything unlocked, and now we can look over here at our mastery level, and we can get a few gems, and we actually got a few skeleton dragons. I do want to also look into spending these wild cards, just because it isn't able to be used on things right now. So I think we can spend them all on Knight. I know it's not going to give us an upgrade, but Knight is going to be a forever useful card. For rare cards, it's a little more difficult, but personally, I use Musketeer even in late game. And that will actually give us an upgrade. So I'm going to go upgrade Musketeer and then apply the rest to them. That also gave us a higher level King Tower. And of course that'll give us a Princess Tower too. That's our Princess Tower upgraded. And now I think we can hop into one last match. I guess after we claim these gems. Alright, now we have to kind of make a choice. This guy is not placing cards, so I guess we will make the first move. Now Musketeer we can counter with those 2 cards. And he places a mini P.E.K.K.A. too, which is also going to be countered by those cards. Now we also split Barbarians, which should also help get rid of this Valkyrie. Now he does have Bomber, which is going to take out our push, and both sides of our push have been defended. I'm just going to arrows these for a equal elixir trade, and then I think we can Fire Spirit these. Now this is going to be a pretty difficult defense to get through, but it's not going to be impossible. And unless he has Fireball, I don't think he can really do a ton about this push. And there we go, we are now ahead on damage. Now to deal with the Knight, I think we will place Fire Spirit over here. And then we'll go with minions. We'll go with Knight, and then I think we can just go Skeletons, so that if he places Musketeer, it'll have to lock onto more things, and it'll take more time to shoot. I think we'll go Barbarians here, and also Cannon. Now we'll go with Knight, and again, as they are placing Musketeer, it'll have to lock onto the Skeletons, and I think we can actually kind of go with Split Lane. Again, not that they overspent over here, but less options to spend over here. Arrows is going to be pretty useful here, take out a lot. And then I think a Knight is going to clean up everything over here, along with a Fire Spirit that decided to go the other direction. Cannon, because I don't want mini P.E.K.K.A. to do a ton of damage. And then arrows should again clean this up. And there we go. We got a win, and that was pretty quick. Anyways, that's the end of this video, and I really want to thank you for watching through the whole thing. It really means a lot. In the meantime, if you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them down below, and have yourself a great day.